Stefon Diggs and Cardi B were one of the most talked about couples in entertainment. She showed up to his games, she defended him online, she stood by him when things got messy, and on Super Bowl Sunday, she was right there in the stands, watching him play the biggest game of his career. That was February 8th. By February 9th, they had unfollowed each other, the relationship was confirmed over, and sources say Diggs was calling her phone on repeat. Not to apologize, to rage. So, what exactly happened in those 24 hours, and why is the internet calling this the ugliest fumble of Super Bowl weekend? Let's set the scene. Super Bowl 60, February 8th, 2026. New England Patriots versus the Seattle Seahawks. Every camera, every headline, every social media account tuned in. Diggs was supposed to have his moment, the game that could define his legacy. He had fought through injuries, roster changes, and a trade that not everyone thought would work out. This was the payoff, the validation. Cardi was in the building. She had posted about the game. She had hyped him up publicly. Their relationship was part of the storyline heading into the weekend, and both of them knew the cameras would be watching. Everything was lined up for a storybook ending. The kind of night where you win the ring, kiss your girl on the field, and cement yourself in the conversation forever. But the game went sideways fast. The Patriots lost 29-13. It wasn't even close by the fourth quarter. Diggs struggled on the field, and cameras kept cutting to Cardi in the stands looking visibly tense. According to reports, she gave him a quick, icy send-off before kickoff. Then she left the stadium before the final whistle even blew. Now that alone raised eyebrows. But what happened in the next 12 hours turned a bad night into front-page chaos. By Monday morning, fans noticed that Diggs and Cardi had unfollowed each other on Instagram. Not just one of them, both. Within hours, a source confirmed to Entertainment Tonight that the relationship was over. And Cardi? She posted one word. Done. No rant, no explanation, no dragging his name through the mud. Just done. And she kept it moving like she had already packed emotionally weeks ago. Think about that for a second. One of the most outspoken women in entertainment, someone who has never been afraid to air things out publicly, chose silence. That decision alone told a story. A normal breakup after a loss like that looks like laying low for a few days. Sad playlist, cryptic Instagram story, maybe an awkward podcast appearance a month later. But according to multiple reports circulating online, Diggs did not take this quietly. Sources claim he was stunned that Cardi ended things so publicly and so decisively. Instead of sitting with it, he allegedly started calling and texting her repeatedly. Back-to-back messages. Late-night attempts to reach her. The kind of energy that screams, "Wait, you don't get to leave me!" And that's where this story shifts from messy breakup to something that had people genuinely uncomfortable. Now, here's where the tea really starts pouring. Leading up to the Super Bowl, things were already complicated behind the scenes. Diggs reportedly had multiple women connected to him present at the game. His child's mother was there, posting photos with their son. Another woman was allegedly spotted with team access. Social media caught all of it. Screenshots were circulating before the game even kicked off. Then came the whispers. After the loss, Diggs allegedly brought someone back to his hotel room. Now I want to be clear, those are reports, not confirmed statements, but they were loud enough that fans started piecing together a narrative fast, and when you line up the timeline, the picture gets uncomfortable. Cardi sitting in the stands, while other women were reportedly in the building with access passes. The icy pregame energy, the early exit. Suddenly her decision to leave doesn't look emotional, it looks calculated. Meanwhile, Cardi had been publicly supportive throughout the entire season. She showed up to games, she defended him when criticism came, she stood by him when legal issues surfaced in the past. So when she left that stadium early and hit the unfollow button hours later, it did not feel random. It felt like a woman who had finally seen enough, but the allegations did not stop there. When Cardi reportedly stopped responding to his calls, sources say Diggs started reaching out to mutual friends, hoping someone could convince her to talk. And when that did not work, the tone allegedly shifted from pleading to angry. Insiders claim he began telling people she embarrassed him by leaving the stadium early and unfollowing him publicly. He supposedly felt blindsided and humiliated, but here's what made everyone watching this side-eye the entire situation. If the reports about hotel guests and multiple women are even half true, Cardi might have felt humiliated first, and instead of owning any of that, he allegedly went straight to rewriting the story. Some sources claim he called her dramatic. Others say he suggested she overreacted or cared too much about her public image. That shift from accountability to blame is exactly what turned casual gossip into a full-blown conversation online. Because when someone starts reframing the narrative immediately after a breakup, it usually means they are protecting their ego a lot more than their heart. And honestly, that would have been enough drama for 1 week. But Diggs apparently was not finished. Multiple outlets reported that Diggs may have tried to show up at one of Cardi's tour stops. Again, this is not confirmed, but if true, security reportedly denied him access. That detail, whether exaggerated or not, added gasoline to a fire that was already out of control. Because when someone keeps pushing for access after being clearly shut out, it stops looking like heartbreak. It starts looking like a man who cannot accept that he lost control of the situation. And let's be real about what that looks like from Cardi's side. You end a relationship. You make your decision clear, you do not publicly trash the other person, and then you hear that they tried to get past your security. That changes the energy entirely. That's not romance. That's not fighting for love. That's refusing to accept a boundary. The internet, predictably, had a field day. The unfollow alone sparked thousands of posts within hours. One viral comment basically said he fumbled both the game and the girl on the same night, and that energy spread everywhere. Another one that gained traction compared him to a player throwing his controller after losing in Madden. Harsh, but the comments section ate it up. Then people started watching his social media activity like it was a crime scene. Diggs reportedly liked posts about toxic relationships and men being used. None of it directly mentioned Cardi, but fans read between the lines immediately. Some people even started screenshotting his liked posts before he could unlike them. That level of internet surveillance is brutal, but when you give people a reason to watch, they will watch everything. On the other side, Cardi posted about self-love and protecting her peace. No direct shots, no name-calling, just subtle messaging that felt very intentional. One post about knowing her worth got over 2 million likes in a day. She didn't need to say his name. Everyone already knew. That contrast is what keeps fueling this entire narrative. She walked away calmly. He reportedly reacted with his ego on full display. And the public noticed every single bit of it. Now, some fans have pushed back, saying public relationships are always messy and that nobody truly knows what happened behind closed doors. That is a valid point. We only ever see pieces. But the loudest reaction online has been frustration at the alleged blame shifting. Many believe that if he truly valued the relationship, the response would have looked completely different. This story also hits harder because of who Cardi is. She has been very open about wanting loyalty and respect in relationships. She went through a very public divorce with Offset that played out in headlines for years. She has talked about what that taught her, what she would no longer tolerate, and what her boundaries look like now. So when she draws a line, people believe she means it. That history matters. If she decided to leave Diggs, it was not impulsive. It probably came after conversations, warnings, and boundaries she felt were crossed one too many times. Diggs also has a public image built on confidence and intensity. On the field, that fire is an asset. Off the field, that same fire looks very different when a man used to winning suddenly faces rejection. Some insiders believe losing the Super Bowl and losing his relationship within hours created a perfect storm. That does not excuse the alleged behavior, but it might explain the intensity of it. And this is really what makes the whole situation worth paying attention to. It's not just about two celebrities breaking up, it's about how they handled it. Cardi's silence has said more than any rant could. Diggs' alleged frustration has said plenty too. When one person focuses on peace and the other focuses on pride, the public picks a side, and right now, the majority is not picking his. So here's where things stand. A high-profile couple imploded on the biggest night in football, and the aftermath reportedly got uglier than anyone expected. Cardi ended things swiftly and has been focused on work, her kids, and moving forward. Diggs allegedly responded with anger, repeated attempts at contact, and a narrative that keeps shifting away from accountability. Could there be details we do not know? Absolutely. But based on everything that is circulating right now, this looks like a case of pride crashing headfirst into boundaries. If Diggs steps back and genuinely reflects, this story might cool off. If the anger continues, publicly or privately, it could follow his reputation for a long time. What happens next depends on who chooses maturity over ego. I want to know what you think about this whole situation, so drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to see how another celebrity handled a public breakup even worse than this, that video is on screen now. Subscribe so you don't miss it.